So my USBs don't want to. We're live. How you guys doing? Sorry about the wait. Appreciate it. How's everybody doing this morning? Rahul, welcome. Welcome. Good morning, slot heads. How is it? We got here. We figured it out. We got here. My phone, device is ready. This is ready. My phone, my computer's going nuts. How you doing, Rahul?
I'm all right, man. How
You
you
good?
doing? Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
How was Well, I mean, I guess we kind of know if you guys saw your live what you've been up to. But why don't you tell the good folks who missed your live what you've been up to this week?
What have I been up to? The usual stuff.
Usual
Work.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're working hard lately, eh?
Yeah. Well, just working hard on my own development in my own career kind of stuff. So yeah, just been trying to get a bunch of stuff organized and get myself organized for what's to come. That's all.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Alrighty, let's go to the chat. Let's see who's here. So we got it's populated already. You guys are awesome, man. So Pete's not here this week, so there's no one going to be ringing the bell. So let's see if we can keep it civilized and gentlemanly like. I don't know if that's possible between you and I. But let's go to the chat. Let's say hello to people. Dan, how you doing? Oh, Slotcar dude, how you doing, Nico? Good morning, man. Thanks for joining. Warren's here. Morning, Rub. Sleep. Yeah. Warren and I were up last night to the wee hours of the night, talking about stuff and cars and all the cool stuff and all the stock that he got. If you guys haven't checked out Warren from Lightech Slots and you guys are needing some cars or accessories, please check him out. lightechslots.ca. Clearwater's here. Yeah. How you doing, Greg? Greg, we won. We won on Rahul's show. How awesome is that? On the shenanigans that you guys did, that was really great of you, Rahul, to have them on. And I was not expecting that. I literally put in my number, first shot, boom, and then I'm just like, okay, whatever, ignoring going to work. And then you guys are like, Joe won. I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't win nothing. Talking about. That was
Yeah.
awesome. I appreciate that. Those guys are really cool.
Yeah.
Fox 1409. Good morning. Daniel Thomas, how you doing, brother? Jen, as always. Yeah, I'm good. I got my coffee. Yeah, my coffee's here. Ron Fast, how you doing, man? Thanks for being here. What else we got? Is this just Mike G? Good morning, Mike G. Eric Wildman, good to see you. What's going on? Am I missing? Damn, Canadians can't tell time. Yeah, sorry guys. We just had a little. There's always something.
Wait a second.
What?
I refuse to be lumped in like this. Damn Canadians can't tell time. We can tell time just fine. Some people just have technical issues. Like mice not working. And,
Showing up extremely late. This is why we get here half
I
an hour
don't
before to make sure everything works. Mr. Raul rolls out of bed and says, "Hey, I'm here."
I didn't roll out of bed, actually. I was actually having a discussion with my sister because we have Bell Canada coming in to upgrade our systems today.
Oh, yeah.
And I had made to make sure that she didn't disturb the live. So there you go. See?
Okay.
Talk.
Yeah. Well, we just realized that.
Anyway, I take offense to whoever said that Canadians can't tell the time. I'm just letting
Devil
you
Dog
guys
is
know
what-
that. Yeah.
No, he's a good guy.
Because I'm always on time. I've never been late. I
know that I just always arrive. You know, whenever I show up, that's when the party started, right? That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Who did I miss? Harry's there. Like I said, Devil Dog. Did I miss anybody? I apologize. Wow, there's a lot of comments. You guys are awesome. You guys are already having your own conversations, which is great. Rahul, let us begin. Again, I want to commend you on.
Why is the track underneath us slanted? Why are the lines not straight? Like, why is it slanted like that?
But that's my back. That's my backdrop.
It's very off-putting, by the way, Joe. I just
You
find
don't like it?
off-putting.
Okay, we want to do this here. We're gonna switch it up.
And it kind of gives me that impression like we're tilted or something.
You don't like it?
I understand you're off kilter, but like just keep me on even keel. I like it.
Here, how about this? How about we go do this? Right, now I got my table. I'm going to show you guys what I'm working on today, right? Because it's Saturday morning cartoon. So if I wanted people to come in, have a chat, tune up. Talk to me, talk to us about what it is you guys are tuning up this week. What it is you guys are doing on your tables, on your cars.
I
Um,
love your new track, Joe. The size of it was incredible. That little short I saw, that was an incredible size track, dude.
um,
And you know the scenery and everything you put around it was on
okay,
point.
so that has nothing to do with me. That scenery was and that track was built by my daughter and her boyfriend. Um, And that morning, if you guys were following the posts, I get a call from Jen. Jen's like, "Hey, the kids are downstairs." I'm like, "What are they doing downstairs?" They're like, "I guess they're cleaning up the track. They want to help you speed up the process." I'm like, "Okay." They're all interested all of a sudden, and I mean, they like racing with us. It's normal. And then I was like, "Okay, well, like half of me was like, don't touch my stuff." The other half is like, "Okay, good. Like get it done so I don't have to do it when I get home." And then I get home and Allison's like, "Come, I have to show you a surprise." I'm like, "I already know what it is." And they surprised me with that small track, and they did all that. I had nothing to
Well,
do with
you need
that.
to take
So
some tips from them on how to
I
build a
do
track.
because I'm so
Yeah,
nervous about scenery. Like I
yeah.
spent last night. Dan, it was me, Dan, and Warren. We were on the Discord, and we were just talking about it. I'm looking at Dan how he does stuff, and I'm like, I don't. My mind is like, it's a whole nother. We'll get there when we get there. I still got plenty of stuff on the new track to figure out. But thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one was.
No worries. I just wanted to point that out. And
It's
your
gonna
mind is
be
always full of stuff, so it's all good. Nothing
it's
changed.
gonna be the new GRL track. How about that?
Oh, oh, thank
It'll
God
be the
I'm not
new
racing.
the season
Anyway,
opener.
keep on going. This guy.
What?
Keep on going. Season opener already on the GRL.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um. Yeah. Huge table. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Dan.
Harry's
Uh,
got it right. You drive me right round, right round. That's good.
no drama.
Uh,
Welcome, welcome. Um, yeah. Can you? Oh yeah. So on your show, good show on Shenanigans. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check out the last one. I think you addressed everything perfectly. I really enjoyed the safety tips. It was important. I think especially for myself who spray canned in the garage without keeping the door open, and I was like lightheaded. And we have to be aware of these things, and we shouldn't be getting ourselves in trouble health wise for this hobby, right? Even truing tires and stuff like that. Well ventilated area is always good. Wear a mask. You don't want to be breathing in those. The rubber does burn a little bit, right? And over time, just be careful. Right? Good job. Could I ask you one favor though? Could you write down the name if you're going to promote us? That it's Saturday Morning Cartoons and not just Saturday Morning Tunes. Just to appreciate the name. And then I found it funny. I heard that. I'm like, I can't get the name right. It's like three times. And then Pete gives you heck for gouging another name or something. So I thought that was like right on point. So I appreciate that a lot.
uh, um, okay, doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Let's
matter.
move on.
Let's move on. Let's
Yeah.
move on.
What is this?
Um,
Point out Raul's faults day? No. No, no, no. No, no, no. Oh, no. I
uh,
refuse.
we are a small community in comparison to the bigger world of YouTube, but I find that we're a tight knit community, right? Everyone's got their webs in and talking with certain people, and if you just reach out to people, they'll reach back, and obviously people have stuff going on in their lives, but that's what I enjoy about this.
You know what's really funny is about 2 years ago when I started YouTube, there was not a lot of people doing stock out content.
Mhm.
There's a handful of channels, very few, very little. You could absorb all the content in maybe a day if you really wanted to, you know. And now we move into this new era where we have lots of content happening, lots of new people coming into the community, lots of it's an amazing and vibrant community. It's growing, and I think Marty and I were a big part of that. We asked everyone to come on. We asked people to come on, and we're going to rub each other the wrong way at some point. But um, I like you. You talk about a big community. I think the wargaming community is huge, right?
Yeah,
Huge, and this is what I really like. This is There's things I like about the wargaming community and things I don't like about the wargaming community. I hate the competitive nature at tournament level, so that's why I left it. But the one thing I'll say about the YouTube version of the wargame community is everyone is supportive of each other. No matter if we have the right or wrong opinion, we never really come out and call each other out and all that. What we do call out is the manufacturers of any war game, We
Hmm.
keep them at. I think that's what the YouTube channel is there for. It's like to keep the manufacturers on their toes and request things to be better at a bigger and a corporate level, right? And I think that's what I really like about the war game community. Is like we never take everything that the manufacturer gives us and say thank you very much, you've done a great job. Well, like thank you very much, but could you look into X, Y, and Z in the future? Could you improve X, Y, and Z? But here I found with the slot world, slot gaming community or the slot community is like we keep the manufacturers on a pedestal, and if we do go after them, this I find the community automatically comes out to defend them always. And I think the community should ask more, and that's one thing that I've noticed in the recent things is that everyone's quick to defend, but don't take it out on each other. That's the last thing we want. And yeah, I think that's the one thing that is a little bit of a detriment to the community. But we're gonna get past all of this anyway, and
Hmm.
the community
What?
is vibrant. The stuff we produce. I was watching Swift Slots this morning because I haven't caught up with a lot of his content in a while, and I was like, this is brilliant. This is a man that's brilliant that is part of our hobby and does brilliant things.
Yeah,
And you can just get blown away by it. And I was like, how fortunate are we that this man decided to put his effort in the stock car world for us to consume, right?
yeah,
And and that goes for Slot R and a lot of these Nico. Like, there's a lot of people that are doing powerful things for this hobby, where they could be doing it for other places. You know what I mean? They could be doing
absolutely.
it for other genres, but they're not. They're in the stock car hobby. We're blessed. Where we should be celebrating these everyone that's in this hobby should be celebrated, because that's what we're doing. We're creating fun environments for everyone, and the last thing we want is to drive away the youth. Like,
Yeah.
that's the last thing we should have happen. So I'm
There's
uh, I don't know. It's a little fire in me this past week to step back up and start producing video and start producing content again. I'll tell you that much.
good,
So
good, because I wanted to talk to you about that too. And I think just going back a bit on one of the things you said about the community getting defensive on the manufacturers. I think we're not. I'm for myself. I don't put them on a pedestal. I'm grateful that there at least is two out there that can butt heads and try to compete, because the two major ones, and we know which we're talking about. We're talking about us Carrera boys and then the Scaletric boys. And it sucks because we're not really. I don't put them on a pedestal. It's kind of like we're at the mercy of them, right? And we're dependent on people making third party products like you know uh, silicone tires or different types of tires, or Paul Gauge, or someone or making axle boxes, so we can continue enjoying this hobby, right? And you had said it one time too. You said it's not up to the manufacturers. It's up to the people to rally together and be like, no, we're going to continue this and we're going to continue going, right? So I think when you're big enough and you're selling product, and your biggest seller is for children, and we're all adults moving forward, like if we don't fall in that niche, in that market, in that target market for these companies, it sucks, because we might not be heard until we get until the bigger 132s are outselling the Carrera Goes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So there's that
yeah,
to
but I
consider too,
think
right?
that's like there's a difference as a corporation, right? Maybe they love the niche, but it's not going to pay the bills, right?
Mhm.
Doesn't keep the lights on, right? So when you look at a company like Carrera, sure, maybe they love 132, and the amount of money they invest in creating these molds and creating these really high, uh, you know, detailed models,
Mhm.
it's great. But just remember that the Carrera Go stuff outsells 132nd by 8 to 10 times, right?
Yeah.
So for them to even continue to develop 132 at the rate they're doing, we're happy and we thank them for it. But there's gonna be things that come out that are lemons, like even with Electric, we have certain products that are lemons, and then the certain products that just like blow your mind, like the Batmobile, like the size of that thing
Yeah,
just blew my mind, and I appreciate each and every manufacturer. I'm not saying we should not appreciate them. I think they're doing phenomenal jobs. 800 cars were released last year. Oh, this year.
that's amazing.
800 cars on slate for this year. Marco from Electric Dreams. He keeps a tally of how many cars are released by manufacturers. He said there's over 800 cars being released this year. That's that's incredible, right? And we can definitely say slot cars are back. And this community is what holds us together and will push us forward, 100%,
Well,
right?
that's it. I was thinking about that too, and I'm like, but whatever. I don't. I don't. Yourself. I'm not talking about me. Yourself. People like Dan. People like Pete in the UK. Slot R. I'm not trying to like pinpoint specifically, but just the first names that pop into my head, right? You guys are like Marty, right? Let's not forget Marty. Marty. These guys are like the pillars, right? You guys are like the pillars here who have started it, and MP Slotcar have been there from the beginning, from the whole COVID thing, and then moved forward, and then we kind of just exploded, and which was like actually a positive thing, right? People had nothing to do, and then like they, how many times have I heard people's stories, and it helps me out with this, and it just relieves stress, and it brings me back to being a kid again, and it's like it's such a great reason to, and being that, I think it's hard to realize sometimes, to be like, oh, the guys who are putting themselves out there on YouTube are the face of the new guys coming in. We don't realize that that's how small we are, right? I freak out when people text me and they're like, oh, hey, yeah, man, you were like the first channel that I saw, and you were one of the first channels I was checking out. I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, oh yeah, we're that small of a community that I guess my videos will come around, and eventually you'll see them, because you will get through stuff, right? You'll get through stuff, and what's crazy is that you find rabbit holes like your channel, where it's like you can spend weeks just like diving all the way. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about one of your earlier videos, right? I'm just putting a pin in that, but yourself and Marty and Dan, you can go all the way from the beginning and just spend a week, even months, just trying to catch up on everything. Another great channel that I think people might not know about, or I'm just coming to learn, is when you're talking about Rob from Swift Slots, is Cleve Slots.
Cleve Tech.
Cleve Tech. Thank you.
Cleve Tech is one of the oldest channels that had a lot of tech data, and a lot of people use it. But I don't know if it's been I don't think he's released any new content in a while. But he's one of the oldest channels in terms of technical knowledge. And I'm sure Harry goes back there as well. Home Racing World goes back a long ways as well. But yeah, Cleve Tech was one of the oldest ones that I remember as well.
Hmm.
Um, I think I want to yeah, Eric's in the chat too.
Yeah.
Eric Wildman is another person that just the humor and the vibrance that comes through with Eric is amazing, right? Like,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm trying to say. There's all these characters. There's all these unique characters all through our hobby, and if you celebrate them and you understand how valuable it is to have all these really cool guys in the hobby, then the rest of it is all just nonsense, right? Like at the
Exactly.
end of the day, it's just
We're
nonsense, right? Like
we're big kids having fun
yeah,
with stuff,
I
with
mean,
my table littered with just like slot cars and parts, and my Jen comes downstairs, she's like, your desk is a mess. I'm like, it's not a mess.
it's an
I'm working.
organized mess.
I'm
That's
working.
what I always say to everyone. People come to me and say, yo, I don't know how you can work in this. I said, listen, I know where everything is at any time. If you touch it right now, you'll mess me up. So it's an organized mess. That's what I call it, right? You have a habit of doing that too, coming to my place and touching things.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell you, don't touch, don't move things, because I'm like, every time somebody moves stuff, then when I want to go find it, I'll never find it
So
again.
so so either you cleaned up before I got there, because every time I come over, it's like that mess gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm like, this table was somewhat organized when I came here. Like, oh, you're painting stuff, so it's good. That means
Oh
you're,
my
you're doing
god,
stuff, right?
my paint table. I don't think I've turned on my airbrush in like months. I was looking at it. I was like, I need to get back to painting. I need to get back to airbrushing and stuff because
Oh, I
that's what I love. But
I
yeah,
miss painting my my minis, man. I really really miss painting my
yeah,
minis.
miniature painting is cool.
Oh man.
But anyway, maybe we do one of those days where we just jump on
Well, Greg from
Discord and do
Clearwater,
that.
I'm going to be
Yeah,
painting sooner than I thought because Greg from Clearwater, if you guys haven't checked out his channel, he just rebuilt his track as well. Go give him a like, go give him a subscribe, please. Also, Tony Droney from Australia, I wanted to say hi. I think I missed you. If I haven't missed anybody else, I saw you pop in there, Tony. Tony, I love your channel. He's got a track outdoors, which I think is just amazing that you can do a track outdoors. So, Tony, if you guys haven't checked out Tony or Clearwater, please do. Go subscribe. He's got some really great content from Australia. Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, the painting. Yeah. So Greg, the home racing world. I was like, okay, these guys are cool. Whatever things are going on, and Greg's getting me into building and scratch building a 124. I don't. It's really like the last thing on my list. Not because it's I don't want
well,
to
you
do
got
it.
the new HRW kit, right? You can just buy the HRW kit and it comes all ready to go.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what, Joe? When you come down, I have a couple. I have a couple of the 132 kits. Maybe you and I can do the 130. I'll give you one kit, and then we can do one kit, and we can build a 132 kit together. And maybe we can get George or someone. We can buy some resin bodies online because I just don't have the bodies for 132nd. Or we
Mm.
can choose a car. Maybe we can choose a car each that we have that we want to replace the chassis and then build a 132nd kit on that.
I love all my cars. Though, yeah. All my cars. Why would I want to replace the chassis? No, yeah, no, yeah. I see what you mean.
Well, it's a replacement chassis.
Oh, the
And it's
chassis.
good.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Um,
tell you, sometimes talking to you is still like
I
talking
don't
to
know,
a brick
chassis,
wall.
body, livery. I didn't know what the word livery meant. When I started watching, I'm like, what are these guys talking? What the hell is a livery? I don't understand any of this. And Slot Cars has brought me back into racing. And I want to shout out to Warren, who started posting the GT3 races, the DTMs, and all the it's like, that's cool racing. And that's on the Discord. And we have a channel and a spot for that. Again, guys, if you haven't checked out the Discord, this is where we're all hanging out, where we're all talking. Global Racing League, Slot Yard Discord. Here we go. Here's the banner. And then, I really appreciate it. Guys like, Dan's in there. Harry's in there when he's when he's ready. There's a happy hour that we got, from 5 to 7. Anywhere in the world, come down, talk. And this is where we like to exchange ideas and banter with each other. So it's all great. Yeah. Kits. Those kits are awesome. So I will be getting back into painting. So I think the goal, Greg is pushing me to have a goal of July. So it gives me time to start the GRL, worry about it, finish it, and then worry about joining the the HRS, HRW. Sorry, my things are
Yeah.
all mental, and that's cool. I mean, but I think what they're doing is really awesome. And that's a community thing. You build something at home, you send it to somebody, and they're going to promote it for you and say, "Hey, we're going to race it. Hey, good job. You
Hey,
did this."
hey, hey. Before we go any further, if
Tell me.
we're building kits against each other, you cannot go get Nico's help with your kit, eh? We
Uh,
gotta do it. Wait a second.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. Nico's my tech guy, okay? My tech guy. I
With
knew
Nico
him
Tuning?
early
I'm
in
part of
the,
Nico Tuning, bro. I am part of
no, no.
Nico
So am
Tuning.
I. So am I.
No, yeah, but who promoted him first? I did.
I got that. You lost already. That was your first mistake, right
That was my
there.
first mistake. Here we go. I got the Nico Tuning kit, man. He just didn't send me a car. He's like, no, you got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this. Try that. And what do? I go
Yeah,
blow. I go burn out almost burn down my house and burn out the freaking light kit he sent me.
yeah,
Oh my god, I appreciate that, Nico. You're awesome, buddy.
yeah.
Uh,
It's because of you I put the fire extinguishers in the safety kit.
you should,
I'm
man.
like,
These
if there's
tires
only one
stink.
person who can burn up a truck, it's this guy called Joe.
I
Like,
don't know if you can see this. I've never burned brushes in.
does it still smell bad?
Yes, it does. I don't
Yeah.
know here.
Oh, you
I don't
gotta
know if you
make
can
it
see, but
sound.
the brushes are black.
Oh
Get my eyes
dear.
out of there. I can't.
And
I'm not good at reverse, but the brushes are black.
yeah, we can see that.
Ah, it stinks, bro. It stinks so bad.
Uh,
Oh my god.
I share with everyone. Nico says he shares with everyone. No, Nico. This is
No,
not
Nico.
allowed. If we're doing a build off, okay, it's okay. I let
Okay,
you have Nico.
his two pupils. We'll put it that way. His two pupils will go
Split
and.
now. All right. What else we got to talk about?
um, so I want to talk about, before we get into the nitty gritty and my track and like the million things I learned about just redoing my track and whatnot. I want to talk about, you did a series talking about videos going back, and I started doing a bit of deep diving, and you did something really really cool. And I wanted you to explain it a bit more. You did a series with your guys that you took three cars. That was your team, and you did four
Uh,
races. And if the car falls off the track, that's it. So it's kind of like lives, right? Like a
well,
video
well,
game. So
when
I
I first
love that.
started, we were already racing slot cars before I first started getting into YouTube. That's why picking slot cars as my as something to shoot was a bit easier because we used to get together and race once every 2 weeks on a Monday night. We used to do our races, and I my first videos on YouTube were posting the tracks that we're building because we had a 20 foot by 8 foot table, and we used to switch the track every month. So the track would last for two races, and then we'll switch it. So we
Hmm.
used to call them rounds, just like F1, right?
Hmm.
And what I wanted to do was build like drives to survive. So I used to record. So each kind of driver had his own team, and I had built the logos for them. And each team had three cars in its garages, right? And that's all you could bring to the track that day. So there's three cars, and I used to do videos. I still have them of prediction. So I used to bring the driver in before, like the pre-driver warm up. So I
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
do like a little segment. They used to come in and used to say, "Okay, so how you feeling about your race weekend? The race coming up. What do you think? What are your expectations?" And we used to do this Drive to Survive thing, and then I used to do the after the race reactions as well, right?
Hmm.
And I wanted to do this whole thing, and the premise of it was each team we had. I think there's going to be. This was somewhat like what GRL turned into later on. So each team, we used to race around 6 tracks or 8 tracks for a season. So it'd be 8 rounds, um, and we used to do two rounds per track. So it was 16 rounds total, right? But it was eight
Okay.
different tracks, and each team had three cars. And in the beginning, when we first started, obviously there was no penalties, but later on we became more and more stricter with the penalties. So what happens is, if you came to the track and you had your three cars, if you came off the track but your tires were still touching, if one tire was touching the track, the car would be put on in that spot. But if you came off the track completely and none of your tires were touching the track at all, none on the black part of the track, that car was sent back to the pits and you had to take out your second car from the garage. And
Okay.
this would continue
So if the
until
car going off the track,
it was scratched. It was like crashed. It crashed, physically crashed.
okay,
So it couldn't come back onto the track. It had to be repaired, right? So we'd
okay,
take it off for that round, and a second car from the garage would be brought out and put on track. And that car would compete for you. And if you crashed that car, same thing, you came out with your third car, right? And if you crashed that car, you would DNF from the race.
oh, from the race total. Okay, so three
Yeah.
lives per that per race. Okay, not
Yeah,
per
so it's
season.
almost like lives, like you
Yeah,
said. It
yeah,
was like a video game. You got three lives, but three different cars.
yeah.
So you had to tune all your three cars up the way you wanted, and they all had to be from the same sort of family of cars.
Okay,
So if you're the Lamborghini driver, they're all three Lamborghinis. If you're a Ferrari driver, they're all three Ferraris. If you're a Corvette driver, they're all Corvette. So we had Team Porsche, Team Corvette, Team Lamborghini, whatever it was.
nice.
Or I believe when with Simon, he didn't want to buy the same car, so we kind of gave him all the high end cars. So you had McLaren, Lamborghini, and I think I forget the last one. But yeah, anyway, so that was it. And then we had like my friend who only raced Ferraris, and he had three Ferraris in his stable.
Good
But
man.
he couldn't
Good
have the
man.
same car, so you couldn't have a 488 GT3 and another 488. You had to have three different Ferraris. Like you couldn't have the same car. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it
That's good.
wasn't like you had the same handling all the time, and that's
Smart.
the kind of race structure that we set up. And so if you rewind and you watch back, we actually did highlight reels for our races. If you go back and watch some of the first videos, they're not as good. I wouldn't, if I were to do it today, I think I'd do it a lot better than I did when I first started.
It was done pretty well, man.
Um,
I mean, you were pretty much pioneering the the storyboard and all that stuff. I mean, that's what I enjoy.
yeah,
Uh,
but we didn't get a lot of views, so it kind of like people didn't want to do it after a while. You know what I mean? Like the novelty wears off. Because
for,
my
for
friends are not into slot cars, right? Like they were just doing it for whatever fun and stuff, and
well, I
after a
mean,
while it became tedious for them, right? Like to sit down and do interviews and that, and like, nobody's watching this, or
yeah, but
why are
you
we
can
doing
trim the
this?
fat. You can trim the fat a little bit and just worry about like I mean, it was
Yeah.
so much fun doing this series with Jen, and I'm gonna continue that. And I remember you guys asked for the Lambo. That's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen on the new track.
Well, we did a whole bunch of series because I did the racing series. I did a drag race series with 47 cars, digital drag racing.
Hmm.
I don't know if you watched that. And
Yeah,
with
that was
that
cool.
one, it was like you actually had false starts and disqualification. So some cars just didn't even go down the like we lost like cars that were favorites to win that drag race series were knocked out because with the two drivers we I bought friends that had never raced log cars before to be the drivers,
Okay.
and they were drafted each team. So it was Team Carnage versus Team whatever it was, I forget. And then we brought these two newbie rookie drivers, and they were the guys who were going to drive. And we actually did a draft for the drivers, and then each driver got assigned to a team, and then those guys are the guys who messed up. Like he would jump the gun or jump the thing, and it was and you know how the digital is, it flashes, and it was disqualify them if they jump twice. So it was really cool. Like cars that were like,
Wait, you programmed that, or that was just a house
no,
rule?
it's a house rule. Like the way it is like if you're in a drag race and you try and jump, the car doesn't move, right? It just flashes, the light
Oh, okay,
flash, and
yeah.
it stops, right?
When you jumpstart,
So as
yeah.
soon as we knew the guy jumped, and it flashes the car that's jumped, right? So we are like, okay, that's your first red flag, and then if you got a second red flag, that car is disqualified. So
And hold
we lost some really good cars that way.
on.
Yeah.
But explain to me how the drag you so you use the CU and a check lane.
Yeah, see you in a check lane for the drag strip. It's just a
Okay.
long straight. It was 1/8 to scale, so it was actually 21 something feet to scale to a 1/8 quarter mile. It was actually to scale, and let me tell you, those cars cover that in less than a second. Like they covered the 21 feet in less than a second. 21 feet in less than a second. So if we didn't have the high, you've seen the slow motion from that, right?
Yeah.
1,000 frames per second. If I didn't have that, you would have never know which car crossed. Besides reading the numbers um, off Smart Race, you would
Yeah.
have never known which car crossed that finish line. But when you slow it down, it's amazing the distance and the gap between cars,
You made me think
because it
about
happens in the blink of an eye, right?
yeah.
It's crazy. So yeah, so that was really cool for me. I was messing around. I was messing around with a lot of high frame rate camera settings and stuff at that point. So for me, it was like brilliant. It was great, recording and stuff.
Well, I don't
But
know who I mean who else, and this is not to call anybody out. I mean, not everybody can have this equipment. I mean, this stuff is kind of expensive as well, and everyone has their thing. But who else is doing 1,000? Harry, maybe who's doing 1,000 slow
I
mo?
think Harry's doing one like 240 frames a second.
Okay,
I there's not a lot of cameras that do 1,000 frames per second that I know of. So
so what are the
just
phones using when you have the slow motion on your phone? Is that
240, 240.
it's 240? Okay, so when
Yeah.
you have that slow mo, it's not, but it won't allow you to do
Yeah,
that.
a lot of people now, right now 240 frames per second is a pretty standard, like it's a pretty well developed frame rate for slow motion right now, especially
Hmm.
at 1080p. So if you're recording 1080p, 240 frames per second is easy to get.
Okay.
But you have to understand, like 1,000 frames per second, you need a lot of light, especially if you're going high. If you Anyway, we're gonna get into technical geek right
It's
now, and
okay. I don't mind, man.
I can go deep into this, deep into the
No, lighting is
technical
important.
stuff.
Lighting is
So
important, and you made me. So, is there because I was Massimo just put out a video with his cars, and we were talking about the scale electric and whatnot, and I'm looking at his video, and I'm thinking I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. I don't know if these tires are on properly, but whatever it is. Uh, but I thought about it. I'm like, he's showing his camera, and it's pretty detailed, and I'm watching it on my phone, and most of us watch it on our phones. Is there a camera specifically enough, like if I wanted to capture like almost micro details, right? Instead of going up to my camera and being like, look these details, right? Like you're never gonna get the exact what your eye can see and all the little, all the little nuances of the car and whatnot. Is there a camera that maybe we should be using or thinking about when we do actual reviews of the cars to be like, hey, let's dive in and look at it almost like as if we're a one
Well,
to one?
I mean,
How
like
do you do that?
that's a loaded question, right? Like there's a reason lenses exist on cameras, right? Like if
Hmm.
there's different lenses for different situations, right? And Harry is a photographer, so you'll totally understand where I'm coming from here. Is there's a lens for every situation, right?
Okay.
Now, most of us are multi-purposing cameras today. Like we take our phones and we expect it to do everything, right?
Hmm.
And it's great, but you have to also understand, like I think Harry said this in one of his videos. Like this car is a 1/32 car.
Hmm.
Every small little movement as you're recording this car is multiplied because we're trying to get into a small world scale, right? If I
Hmm.
was going out and I was shooting a real car, it's very easy with my phone to get every detail. Everything's bigger, so it's easier, right?
Hmm.
But when it's a small car like this, it becomes even harder because if you're hand holding, you get a lot of jitter and a lot of shaking. You notice this in a lot of videos, like when people are doing like their pans and stuff. There's a
Hmm.
lot of movement, which is unacceptable in the real world of one-to-one shooting, right? That's
No,
why we
yeah.
have gimbals and all that. But even if you try and record with a gimbal, because the distance that you're moving is so short, or when you're using a gimbal to go around the car, it's very short. There's not there's still micro jitters and stuff, and those
Yeah.
gimbals don't turn fast enough, right, to actually capture a car. That's one thing that I always hated. So I think the best camera, and I endorse this camera 100%. If you wanted to get into slot cars and you wanted to shoot everything, slow motion, handheld footage, and it's a GoPro. Like, just buy a GoPro. Like it does everything you want. You can live stream from it. You can record close up. You can do 240 frames a second. You can do light streaks. You can do everything you want with a GoPro, and
Really,
you'll be happy. Like I
really.
think for stock car racing, I would recommend everyone just use a GoPro and handheld. You don't even and if you notice, I don't know if any of you have ever seen me shoot, but maybe I'll do a series of how I shoot, and everything's handheld now. I don't use gimbals. I don't use motorized dollies, and I had everything. I don't use that anymore. Yeah,
Hmm. You handheld your shots.
yeah, I handhold everything
Handhold.
now.
You handheld.
Yeah, I do everything with my camera in hand. I don't do it with gimbals or anything anymore. I used to. I mean, I have so many. Well, you've seen.
Yeah.
There's no reason. I used to. I have everything from sliders to gimbals to like little motorized dollies and everything.
Mhm.
But I found the easiest thing to do is
You
just
play with
handle.
dollies? Did I hear you
Yeah,
play with dollies?
I have two little dollies. Both of them are motorized, and I have
Oh,
one that's manual.
speaking of things that are Pete's here. How you
Look
doing,
at
man?
Swat. Look at this guy.
Look
What's
at this
up,
guy
Pete?
showing up. How you doing, man? Thanks for joining. Let's get back to that for a second. Besides playing with your dollies, yeah, on Thursday on your live, I said you had a big grabber when we were talking about the grabbers. I said you had a
Hmm.
long grabber, and no, I think people just thought that I was just being crude, but you
I
actually
didn't
have
know
a
you
car,
looked at me that way, Joe. I didn't know you looked at me that way.
bro. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. But okay, don't show the people. Can you? I don't know if if around the corner, but tell
What do you
them.
mean?
I know
I
you have a
can't
grabber.
bring that thing
Rahul has a
over.
20-foot long grabber to grab the cars from across the room. I'm racing and I got this thing coming in my head, like trying to take off my glasses. I'm like, what the hell's going on? He's across the room and he's like, I got you. I got you. This thing's
Well,
massive.
okay, so let me explain to you why that happened. So when I opened the commercial track, I had put down a commercial track in an RC store, right?
Hmm.
And what we had was we had put this 20 by 8 foot track against the wall, so it was kind of blocked in on two sides. And
Okay.
every grabber we had was not long enough to get to the other side of the table because you got to remember we're locked in. You have to
Okay.
actually physically climb on the table and
Oh,
walk across, dodging all the track to get to the car. That's what we used to do. So I was like, you know
yeah,
what?
yeah.
There's got to be a solution. So I went onto Amazon and I looked for, and this grabber is very expensive, by the way. So I do not recommend it. But I went on onto Amazon. And said longest grabber available. I think it was 12 feet. Yeah, it's 12 foot. Sorry, no, this is 10 foot. It's a 10 foot grabber.
Yeah, it's massive.
So it's 10 feet, and I ordered it and I brought it in, and then we closed down the stupid commercial track. Like a few weeks later, I was like, "What a waste!" It was that's like almost the price of 3 slot cars right there, man. I lost 3 slot cars on that grabber.
Oops.
What are
And
you doing? You're showing us your new track now.
no, I'm trying to do this behind the scenes. I don't know why I went into this. I apologize,
There you
guys.
go. Look at this.
No, we're not talking about that.
Well,
Oh, my other
you put
camera
it on.
disappeared.
You put
That's
it on. You put it on screen. What are you doing?
well, I know, but now this is what I wanted to add. Add
It's
source.
an antenna. Yeah, Harry, it is an antenna. Like we. I don't know. Have you guys watched My Favorite Martian? Do you know what
No,
I'm talking about? Anybody in the chat know the
we're not as
series
old.
My Favorite Martian? If you have, then you and me are friends. But he had little antennas that would come up behind his head. It's old black and white film. It's really funny. Anyway,
Okay.
it's like Alf. I don't know if you guys know Alf.
Yeah, Alf. Okay, Alf is better.
Okay, it's before Alf's time. But anyway.
Dude, how old are
Hey,
you?
Stop Valley Racing says he knows My Favorite Martian. There you go.
Anyway, you
At
and
least-
Dan can be in the old folks home. Who knows that?
Uh, oh, there you go. Sue Fast says it's a favorite.
Oh,
It's a
okay. Well,
favorite
I take it
show
back.
of mine.
I take it back.
So you guys can stop that. Yeah, you better take it back, Joe.
Take it back. It's a shame. I gotta oil this up. I want to get my Revos on. These are the only cars I haven't driven on my track yet. It's the first time I actually opened up a Revo. It's beautiful inside.
Yeah, I was watching. Actually, it's funny because you're talking about Revo slots, but I was watching Rob Swift slots this morning, and you're showing how he mills out NSR crown gear
Okay.
for his Revo slots. He has to use a reamer. That's one thing I've been looking for is a reamer. A good set of reamers for because one thing that I've noticed with Ernie and them is when they get a car,
Mm-hmm.
they'll put the axle through and see if there's any like shift, like if the axle is not perfectly straight, right?
Yeah.
And there's like it's kind of binds,
Mhm.
so they'll put a reamer through and they'll ream right through the two bushings to keep them parallel. If
Okay.
it's not major, like if it's just a slight thing, then they'll use a reamer. So
Can you guys hear the dog barking?
yeah, just a little bit. It's fine.
All right.
It's okay. He's annoyed at you. It's fine. Everyone
Because
gets
Jen
annoyed
left
at
and
you.
he's barking upstairs. I don't want you guys to hear that. I apologize.
Yeah.
I might have to go up in discipline.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that was a pretty cool. So the race, the video. We talked about the zooming in on the digital stuff, and it's all about lenses. So that's clearly something I'm not going to be getting into anytime soon, just because of whatever, just because of budgetary restrictions, like the most of us. But yeah, man. The okay, because Jen's home, that's why he's barking. All good. So have you talking about the rear axles? Have you taken apart a Carrera wheel rear axle? Have you taken off the wheel? Because we were talking about foam tires and stuff like that, and I was just wondering. Mass was supposed to send me an extra one. I just wanted to actually see. I haven't done it yet to pull off the actual wheel and see what mess is left behind. Right? I'm hearing horror stories.
Horror stories? Why?
Because of it's sonically welded or something, and you've got a twist. Those axles have a twist.
Yeah, they have a knurling at the end.
Knurling, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Not a twist, is knurling. Yeah, I mean, like I pulled several of them off.
yeah,
The plastic wheels. Yeah, not a big deal.
So what have you put back on to replace them? You have not regular wheels.
I just replaced the rear actions. I replaced the whole rear end after a while. Yeah, but I've had wheels like kind of fall off too, right? Like I've had a wheel dislodge from.
Well,
I think it was I think it was from Electric. I'm not too sure. Or Fly. These are all knurled on, like press fit plastic wheels onto shafts, like on the axle, right?
Well, that's it. Because I noticed with these guys, well, this car here, whatever, and then I went around to all my cars. There was a lot of play in the front wheels back and forth, and I just if you actually took this, if you put it down on the table and you just take a little something flat and just tap it in, you can not too much because you don't want it to rub against the bushings, but the if your front axle is way too shimmy, back and forth, you can do that with these. You can squeeze them in a little bit more. Same thing with the rear axles. If you find that one tire or one wheel is sticking out too much, you can just put it on your table and then just lightly bang it as flat as with the flattest surface.
Oh, you can just go out and buy a very cheap C clamp and just press it together.
That's it. I'm worried about the plastic cracking though. I'm never.
No, if you have a good C clamp with a good head, you can actually press fit that
Yeah.
very smoothly. It's better off than trying to hammer it with a
Well,
hammer.
it works. It was very like a little couple light taps and it moved right in and fixed that issue. So now I check all my cars in the front for sway. We call that the Carrera sway, right? I don't know
Yeah.
what we call it. We're just calling it that. uh, have you so when you guys did all those videos back and forth, um did you how deep dive did you go into like how dependent were you on the Carrera on the Smart Race app? And at the time, what were the
Listen, I know very little about the Smart Race app. I just know how to get it up and running. When I first started racing, Ivan, who was one of my friends who's in IT, he's the one who recommended Smart Race, and we got it and we utilized it. And he used to run the program when we used to race. And
uh
only recently, when I started doing my own live stream, did I start using Smart Race to actually do stuff or the GRL and stuff. But I know very basic minimum about the Smart Race app. I try and keep a lot of the tech stuff out of my hobby when I'm doing my hobby because all day I program. And I
mhm.
know it sounds so counterintuitive, but I just want my hobby to be where I don't have to think technically. Although cameras, I mean, I spend all my time on tech on the camera side of things. Like I just had very little. I just want, and that's why like I get frustrated maybe with Revo and all that. It's like I just want to put the car on the track and let it go, right? Because
Yeah.
my objective is not the car. My objective is to capture the car, and if it doesn't go, then I get frustrated, right? So I think that's where my big disconnect is with the community. It's like I'm not like that's why I always say I'm a collector. I'm not really a slot car hobbyist because I don't really do a lot of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Like you're tinkering right now with your cars. I haven't touched my tinkering table forever, right? Like that's why it's just a
but
big
you're on a
pile.
tinkering show.
I know, but I mean, like, it's weird. Like, I go through my phases of wanting to play with like my with the cars and tinker with them, and then there's just times when I just want to just just shoot, and
Yeah.
that's where I'm at right now. I just want to shoot cars.
And that's what's awesome about this hobby, right? We're talking about, you're into that, but I'm more like, oh man, there's a program here, and Smart Race, and I want to push it to its limits, and I'm asking
Yeah,
questions, and I'm like, well, why doesn't the pit work like this, or why can't I have the virtual safety car and the real safety car working at the same time? I love the virtual safety car feature on the Smart Race app because it goes by
okay, so my
timing.
question to you is how often do you use it? Like I've never used a safety car ever. Like the only time we use safety car is to do like starting videos, like
Yeah,
we'll video the safety car going in front of all the other cars, and that will be like my opening sequence to let's just say a race video, right? Because you want to have that same look. But outside of that, when I'm actually racing, we never use Smart Race to actually moderate the race until I went to race with the 124 guys.
okay,
The way we used to do was we used to call off and then we stop we used to like everyone would stop and we would say 3, 2, 1, go. Like
yeah,
everything was very manual. The only reason Smart Race was there was the official starts and stops. That's it, and to count our laps and to count our time. So that's the general consensus for us on Smart Race is that it's just a means to an end to get our timing and to start and stop races. The rest of it was all manual. Like we implemented different systems. Like you heard about the 3 car system. We also used to do another system where it was cards. Everyone got 10 cards, and every time, let's say if you had an off, you had to pay a card back to the race director. And if you went like if you had one wheel on the track, it was only one card. If you had both wheels off the track, it was two cards. If you came off the table, it was a complete wipe off the car, and the next car got put on. So we
Mm.
had that system. And if you ran out of your cards, that's it.
Oh my
So
god.
if you
Okay.
ran out of your 10 cars, that was it. You're done for the race. There was If you went off the next time, there was no way to come back on the track. You didn't have your credits to come back. So we kind of did all these different systems. I've done so many variations, but it was always manual. It's always because the guys always wanted to have their input. And I found that Smart Race, as much as it was cool, it's not as much fun unless everyone's got an input in the race and everybody had their say of how we should marshal and how we should call things. And sure, there's bickering and all that, but that's the whole fun of a race night. Like it's like if everything was perfect, then it'll be like a very like methodical race. And like it's like Electric Dreams. You expect everything to be perfect, right? You expect everything to be well documented. But when you're racing in the basement with your pals and your friends, you want to have that like off kilter kind of like racing experience. And that's what we used to have by doing these kind of variations and stuff, right? That's it.
Well, that's it. I mean, like, so for me, and just answering this question, yeah, I don't know. My parents, I was all over the place, for sure. They had their hands full. I was like very I don't care and very I care all at the same time. And the smart race for me was more like, well, this is really cool. I'm more of like I want to get the most out of this. I just gave you $34 for whatever reason for an app, which kills me. But at the same time, like I appreciate the work and effort being put into it, right? So because it was Jen and I racing, and because the family started getting into it, it's like okay, fine. And I was very annoyed with always marshaling or saying calling off, and you get that little cheat, right? You call off, but then someone else is like, "Oh, well, I didn't hear you," or they're really focused. So now it's all about the call button, getting the secondary phone, and everyone having their own call button. I think that's 100% important. It's on you to stop the race and figure it out, and be like, "That's on you." And then we'll decide: is that can we add a penalty to that? It's going to force you to drive better. This all goes into the again my new track.
Here's my issue now, right? Like all these things are barriers to entry to the hobby.
Okay, I'm not talking about
Yeah,
entry to the hobby, right? When
yeah,
you
no, but
jump over,
I'm talking about this, right? Like for myself, everyone that's coming to my basement is a newbie. They've
mhm.
never raced slot cars before. They don't have app on their phone. They don't have any of this stuff. Am I going to tell them, oh, download the app? Oh, get this sorted out? Oh, no, I'm just like, grab your car. Let's get on the track. Let's have some fun.
No, but you have a big enough
So,
track that we've done a few races, and it was just even with just basic fueling, it's fun, right? Because you have the
yeah, but what
strategy
I'm
and
trying to tell you is like, I kept the reason why I never got deep into smart race or anything like that is because I just didn't want the barrier to entry to be there. I just want people come into my basement, turn on the lights, and let's just go nuts and
yeah,
let's
there's
have
definitely
some
yeah
fun,
for sure.
right?
There's definitely a protocol
So,
to these,
so
right?
that's where I've always kept it at, and that's why, like, when people, when I go to earnings and stuff, I'm not ready. The racing part of it is cool. I'm not very competitive. If I was very competitive when I raced one-to-one cars, but now
Mhm,
when I'm in slot cars, I just don't have the competition level of everyone else. I don't really care.
mhm.
I know it sounds really weird, but I really don't care. I want to just have fun, throw back, kick back, have some laughs, watch cars fly off the table. I don't care about crashes. You've seen that. You've
Yeah,
seen me smash a car right off the table. I don't care because
yeah.
I'm like, as much as I love my
I've smashed
cars,
many of your car off the table. Yeah,
yeah, as much as I love my cars, they are toys at the end of the day,
hundred
right?
percent, hundred
And
percent.
that's the way I treat
I see it
them,
as I want
right?
to go that much further, right? Because we come from a generation of video gamers and whatnot, and for me, it's all the retro stuff. Like I just installed my PS3 because The Last of Us video game, and I don't get into video games, but like because I like playing stuff that was back in the day. I follow these new games with the micromanaging and the upgrading every little beep 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 blah, 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 blah. I can't. Slot cars, it's easy. The levels are easy to add on. It's like, oh, add weather, add this, add penalties. Perfect. I've got years, man. This is everything, and
Yeah.
that's my problem. I want everything now, but I'm like, whoa, relax. one step at a time. When I
It's
have a
not the
family
only
race, I
problem
can
you
do
have,
something
Joe.
new, right? Because I was tired of always being the marshals. Like I want to actually race my freaking track and host, and people come over, and we got Liam and his family come over, and now we got Yeti Nation and no, I'm sorry, another guy that we found in Montreal, and now we're starting to get maybe a little Montreal club or circle going. So once we have that, then these are things to look forward to, right? So now we're thinking about, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to bring my control over? What cars are we going to run? What's the class that we're going to do, right? So it all comes into that, and then it's the layers, and it's how you want to do the smart race, right? I get it for on your aspect of it, but for me, it's more important that these options are available, just to always, like, because you're gonna play, and then it's like, okay, what else can I add? What else can I add? And
Yeah.
and it's 100% enjoyment. And Dan had asked before, and it ties perfectly into the track. So this track, and I would just
Morning,
like to
MB just stepped in the chat. Morning, MB. How are
hey, how
you?
you doing, man? Good
Yeah,
to see you.
continue. Sorry about that.
No, no, not at all.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling that. So yeah, so when we put together the track, and I'm gonna name the track AG Raceway, after Allison and Gabe, because they really helped me just get everything all together. And there's a few other pieces that I need, so I'm not gonna drill it down just yet, but I think it's going well. I guess I could show it at this point, right?
Yeah, so super fast. I agree. Like switching to analog, but it's only 2 lanes. When you have 6 of your friends racing on a digital track, it becomes a lot more exciting. So I
Yeah,
totally get it. It's 2 different worlds, digital, analog. I appreciate them both for what they are, but at the end of the day, like you want to have as many of your friends on the same thing as possible. It's just like video gaming. If you can play, I remember when I used to play Gears of War, and everyone would show up on Sunday to do Horde mode together, and I would all get on there and play for hours. Just like it's just a run and gun game, right? It's a lot of fun, but that's what we used to do. So it's just a matter of us all being in the same situation together. So that's what digital racing gave me and my friends, right? And yeah, so much better. I think analog is cool when you have somebody that's a little bit more serious. I had a friend come down. He's an RC. He's sponsored to race RCs. He's from Vancouver, so he's like a very technically gifted RC racer, right?
mhm,
And he came down, and I had my older track, the one that went through the wall at that time, and so he started with the digital cars, and he was like, "Oh, this is really cool," and he was just on the thumb controller, and then I switched him to the two-figure controller, and he's like, "You know what? It's so cool. This is all cool, but I want to get more technical." I said, "Okay, let's switch to analog then." Then we started to get into the new analog controllers where you could dial in your settings, and he was really comfortable with that because he was
mhm.
came from the world where you had to fine tune and details. And I remember I had to kick him out at 2 o'clock in the morning because he was there and he didn't want to leave. And so you get that rare kind of individual that'll come in and be very technical, and that's where analog probably jump right in, and you can start to fine tune like handling and float and all this. But majority of my friends, well, you've met them, Sulk and Hulk, and all. They
Yeah.
just want to Hulk smash everything, and
Yeah,
have a bunch of fun.
that's why I don't seeing that, to me right there, all that can be easily avoided, when not avoided, but like the entry level is. That's why I keep the magnets in those types of racings, because there's the switch tracks, there's the pit lane, you have all that to think about. I don't want newbies worrying about like, what, this car is really squirrely, I don't understand like the controls. Like, no, 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 the car sticks, and these cars to this track stick even more. So now I'm not sure, and maybe you guys can help me out a bit on this. Um, I'm not sure if the cars are just sticking because now I have the R2 turns, the R3 turns, the 415s, and those cars are just so smooth on the track. And the problem areas that I thought I was going to have are inexistent. They don't exist with the magnets, right? And another thing I realized, I was like, but even when I had the magnets on the other track, the cars were sliding out and whatnot. And I'm like, well, why are they not sliding out anymore? And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. We did a deep clean. I asked Allison, I go, before we put every track, take this alcohol cloth, just wipe down all the track for the dust. And now this track has been spot cleaned 100%. And the silicone tires, guys, let me tell you,
Oh no, here we go.
Okay.
I'm leaving. I'm
Silicone tires.
leaving. I'm leaving now.
What are you doing? I'm talking.
Saying hi.
Hi.
Hi, Jen.
It's my show.
Actually, he's about to go on his rant for silicone tires,
Yeah.
so I'm
So
gonna step
of course
away
you have to
now.
stop me in my rant of silicone tires.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I'm
Yeah.
You're
leaving.
welcome, Rahul.
Get out of here.
Get out of your
Get,
house.
here we go. Yeah. So silly
Even
stuff.
Nico's out. Even Nico's out. See, like
What do you
you're
mean?
driving all of us away. Like you and your silicone tires.
It all fits in. Hold on. It's all gonna tie together. I know my brain is jumbled. I just realized I don't have my hat. Um, you're saying everyone's saying hi. It's good. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, nobody
Yeah.
wants
So
to
these
see
cars
you
really
anyway.
stuck on the track, and I just realized I'm like, oh, clean track, silicone tires. It's just amazing. So I said, you know what? Let's because you see that little
It's
right.
so funny that you need everything to be perfect on your track. You're like, I need my tires to stick. I need everything. Like, you
I'm
know
looking for
what?
perfection. I'm looking for
Why?
perfection.
Why?
There's no denial. No one here is going to be like your thing is stickier than silicone
You
on
wait till
plastic
you
track.
go
It's just a
until you start
fact.
racing
It's
rally tracks.
it's
Then
just
you'll
it's just a
understand
track. It's just a
imperfection.
fact. Sorry, not a track. It's just a fact. So I said, you know what? Let me push the limits. Let me take out a magnet. So guys, I did it. I took out a magnet on my Ferrari 488,
Oh my god!
and holy cow! So if you see on the track right now, I don't have a thing, but the start where the start finishes, and then you see the orange controller just above the orange controller. That little section, that little chicane section, that's a 415 turning right into a 160, not a 160. Yeah,
I mean, you should go
yeah.
over to your track and lead us through your track. At least do that.
Yeah, I know, but okay. Then I gotta get to see if the microphone's working. Okay, hold on.
Okay, at least like put the track large on the
Yeah.
screen so we can all see it together, and then you can. Does your mouse work when you're on there? Do you see
Mm,
your mouse
no,
head?
I don't think so. Hold on.
Oh,
I'll just turn on the mic.
all right. Turn on the mic and put your track large on screen. Do
I
I have
did.
to teach
Oh,
you
all
everything?
right. Yeah. Okay.
Let's do this properly, man.
Okay. Just tell me if I come in too loud. Okay.
Yeah, you
Just tell me.
always come in too loud. I don't know what you're talking about.
Quiet.
See, what's this? I'm sure we'll be there for at least a month more. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's no bell today. If only Pete was here, he'd ding out the stupid silicone talk.
Okay, but you guys can hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. You're
Okay, the
good,
mic is
man.
good.
You're good.
All right, because
Yeah.
it's a different mic, right? So basically, this is the car that I know you can see me. So this is the car I took the magnet out,
Just walk us through
and
the track first.
okay, walking to the track. So
Yeah.
start finish double
How
lane
long is
change.
your track? How big is your table? Come
Okay,
on,
the
start with the
table.
basics. I gotta teach
Okay,
you
well,
everything, bro.
stop talking.
Okay.
The table is now a complete 12 by 8 feet. This is the section here that was missing. I don't know why in the beginning I just didn't build it like that. I figured the original track I
Well, you
had
do
would
half
go
measure stuff,
forever.
Joe. Keep on going.
Okay. So yeah, 12 by 8, and the track is now 51 feet about. Um, Whatever centimeters, 51 point something feet, 52, just under 52 feet long. And it's, I got no more straights. My longest straight is 7 pieces long, which is one down from my original one. This is more like a road course at this point. So that's it. So it comes into here. I've got one, two, three, three 230s going into three straights, another four 230s coming down, three, um, what is that, R3s, the last ones there,
Yeah,
the way it's
three.
curved, into two 230s going left, into one 160, and two 230s again, straight back down. One, the 360s, right? 330s, 360s, I forget.
Three and
And then back
30s.
into 1, 2, 3, 4, 230s. And then this is the fun part here. This is a 415 into a 160, into a quarter piece, into back into a 415, and then back left into a 230. So at first with the magnet cars, they take this track like it's nobody's business, right? Just they go everywhere. And at first I was like, oh, that's kind of disappointing, and I'm kind of bored with this. So yes, I know And Dan Thomas, I know what you're gonna say. And if Slot R was here, I know what he was gonna say. And Nico, I told you, you're gonna take the magnets out. And sure enough, I took the magnets out. And this section is a pain. Oh my god! And I was so mad. I'm like, no, I have to change it, whatever. And I'm like, no, that's what I built that to do. That's how I designed it. So there's an actual kink and there's an actual thinking that you got to do on the track. And coming down that straight, these guys actually have an effect. So if you come down too fast on the incline, you can, as easy as it is, if you try to gun it, you've got to really control that little chicane section. So that's like an easy fix. But this section here, and this car was flying off the track every 2 seconds, and I'm like, man, I can't really. This can't be that I have to go that slow and that slow. And surprisingly enough, my analog cars, right, which is still technically digital because we're using the digital system on the box here. These cars handle it a lot better. I couldn't push them. I could push them a little harder. So you can tell the difference between how these cars are made and the Carrera cars. So there's definitely a lot of modifications we're going to have to be doing. And I said, you know what? Let me clean the tires for 1 second. And sure enough, I took my trusty 3D printed cleaner, just clean the tires, and the car performs way better, and I can take the curve better. So, all these clicks and realizations are starting to happen to be like, yes, tires are important. That's number one. Tires, clean tires, silicone, plastic track, and that'll help you grab the corners. Next, and then we're going to talk about this. I'm going to come back. Next, we're going to be talking about axles, and that's what I want to change. And I want to see if the axles will actually make a difference, because I have two types of, not axles, excuse me, gear ratios. Let me get back.
Thank you, Joe, for that wonderful walkthrough of your track.
Yeah, was I reading that?
Yeah, that was good. So you have no 1 in 60s then?
What do you mean?
You don't have any tight 1 in 60s? Your hairpins and all that are gone?
No, oh, sorry. So I didn't explain the last part. Sorry. So this...
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
you forgot the last part, because I told you to put in a 1 in 60 because you need that sharp corner to learn skills.
I do. I have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 160s.
Yeah, but you have a full 1 in 60 corner.
Yeah. Sorry. Right? So the wind back after the kink, I was too excited about the kink. After the kink is 2 230s and then 2 160s.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So I have 4. So then the first hairpin style is 2 230s and 1 160, 2 230s, whips around. And then that 1 130 is in that kink. So it goes 415 to 160 right off the bat. So like it's the sharpest thing, but you only get to feel that.
Oh, I like this comment. Jen says, you better name this track after your wife who allows this hobby.
I'm naming it after the kids. Get out of here. I'm naming it after the kids. Hey, Yeti showed up.
Yeah.
Silicone again. Yes, silicone always. But I will be trying out foam, and anyways, we can get into that in a second. So I'm realizing for the magnets, right? I'm thinking, and these are my theories. For the magnets, I'm gonna go up.
You start thinking again?
Yeah, I started thinking again. So these are actually 25 teeth, right? We're and
25 teeth. Yes.
Teeth? 25
okay,
teeth.
Whatever.
That's 25 teeth. But if you're saying this is my car and it's a 25 tooth gear, or I have a 25 tooth gear, or the English part of it is like saying I have.
Oh my God! Here we go. Can you just keep on going? Jesus. Oh man. So I already knew. You know that moment when you messed up. Yeah, that moment I just had it. As soon as I said that, I was like, "Oh no, he's gonna go on a rant here." Like, let's move on.
I thought about that skip in my head. I'm like, is it teeth or is it tooth? I'm like,
just stop already. Just keep on going.
Is it moose or is it meese? So we got the axle kit. We got the axle kit from Ernie. We spoke about that, and you and I said that you're gonna do.
I have a lot of things I've spoken about, which I haven't done yet. So.
Well, you're gonna do them. So you're gonna compare Slot Invasion, Slot It, and Ernie's concoction. To see.
Yeah, I have slotted kits here. I got the Ernie mess here, and I got the
Slot
Invasion stuff. So Ernie's is actually using slotted gears, though.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
So so my thing was, okay, I'm thinking in theory, that for my magnet cars, because I have the IROC series for my, and I'm just going to test everything out. I'm going to have to do things in steps, right? I'm going to do a whole video series on it anyways, so it'll be an organized mess. This tooth, this gear is actually at 25, so we're going down 2. So the top speed should be a little better. And at first I was like, it's more of a technical track. It's more of a road track that I got. I can't really get to the topper speeds. But with magnets, I can pin it in certain sections. I can really get it going all the way. So I can bring it up all the way to max speed. So I'm thinking I could probably get some faster speeds with the magnets for this. I'm also thinking of getting the 29 tooth gear to slow down the ratio, right?
So you
To
get
get
more
better.
torque, right?
Yeah, exactly. More torque in the corners, and I think
Yeah.
that's where the non-mag is going to benefit the most. I mean, I think so. This track really started making me understand. Oh, that's why they do this, and just seeing the difference, really seeing the difference. Not that I didn't see it before, but just really seeing the difference when you take out that magnet of how much you have to now baby the car and be like, okay, how can we get you to perform even better? It's and that's the fun part of it, right? No, you don't have to do this. Carrera cars are great, and if you want to go the next step, change the tires. The next step after that, take out the magnet, and you can have hours and years of fun. You don't have to do any of the stuff that we're doing. We're just doing it because we're crazy and we love it, and that's just what it is. And I don't want to buy any more cars. I want to focus on the cars now, and that's what it is. I think I'm going to do that test. I'm going to test the gears out.
Wait, rewind,
Yeah.
back it up.
Yeah.
What did you just say? You're not gonna buy any more cars? No, repeat that. Repeat that. I want to record this, by the way. Hold on. Repeat that again. What did you say?
I'm gonna slow down on buying cars.
No. That's not what you said. Repeat what you said. I can rewind this tape. We have you on camera now. I'm pretty sure Jen's very interested too to hear what you just said. So you're not buying any more cars. You're gonna work on the cars you have, right? That's what you said.
It was a mistake.
No. So no more touching the cars when you come over. Don't touch.
Well, no, I mean, dude, my thunder slot. Oh my god, my thunder slot on this track is redonkulous.
Yeah,
redonkulous.
It's beautiful
and like so nice. It makes no sense. So I'm like, I need another thunder slot. I can't just have one. And I'm like, no, hold on. So just like, please.
There you go. No more. You're not allowed to touch anything. I'm gonna retire these.
My mission right now.
I'm gonna retire these now.
No.
Yeah, retired. No more.
The first thing you said when we started was that like when you come over. So I know I'm coming over. I think October, long weekend, Thanksgiving. Don't make any plans. It'll be a Thanksgiving weekend. Anyways,
Thanksgiving. Is Jen coming with you? You only have to come if Jen's coming.
Yeah, she can come. It's all good.
If Jen's not coming, don't show up on my doorstep. It's not allowed. Yeah. We need two of us to wrangle.
My mission is to...
When you're here, like a little, running around, you need two people to handle you when you're here. It's terrible.
But my mission, right, is to obtain all the cars that you had said, yes, this is for sale.
Jen's like, what?
No.
You're going away? What? You didn't tell her about this October weekend. You're so dead. You just keep on shooting yourself. You should just wear a bulletproof vest and you come on this show.
Oh man. He
needs a leash.
Okay, I think we're past our time. Normally this show is just an hour. I appreciate all of you. No, but I'm going to. It's my secondary mission in this hobby now is to collect all the cars that you said that you wanted to sell me and then not sell me because you're like, oh, this guy's really excited. So it is. So the first one was the Ferrari.
This whole section back here is cars that
I got a car that you told me was rare, and I got it. And it is rare. It's rare.
You're still with that one?
Okay.
Like we've moved on.
We moved on. So we moved on. That I got something that you said I can never have, and I got it. So the second one is. Can you show that 124? Can I see what you have as 124s, please, of your Porsche?
No. This is the car you need next. Okay. Here.
I don't like LMPs. I'm not.
You keep quiet, you blasphemous fellow. Yeah. I'm just releasing the shirt for this car. I got this.
I'll buy the shirt. That's a McLaren. Anyway, it's not an LMP. It's a McLaren.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't matter.
Okay, maybe the McLaren.
What?
Maybe I'll allow an American car on my track. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, what do you want me to show you?
The other one that I'm looking for is the art car, the M1, Mister. Yeah, I'll sell you that one. No, I'm like, come on. He puts the candy in front of me and then takes it away. What? How many Porsches? How many 124 Porsches do you have?
124.
Yeah,
Couple. I think I'm getting one from Warren as well. The new
yeah. No,
one
I
that
bought
just
it.
came out.
The blue one.
What?
There was a mess up in the order. I'm taking it from you.
Oh, that's fine. I'll just go directly to Borgfeld then. It's fine. You
No,
guys,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
you
No,
guys will force me to
100%,
do
I'm
some
kidding.
stuff that you don't want me
Warren.
to do.
I'm sorry, Warren. I'm sorry.
I have
No, I didn't
one,
want that one. It's
two,
all good.
three, four Porsches. Four Porsches new. Five, six Porsches total. 124.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I think I'm not sure. Warren has a really nice white kit, not a white kit, but a white livery Porsche and the Scale Auto. And I was thinking of getting that to.
124.
Yeah. Well, my next cars are 124. The only thing I'm really looking for now is a red Pantera, and my 132s are pretty much done. I need one more Mercedes. I need two more Lamborghinis. I need.
Wow. For a person that's not picking up any more stock cars, you have a lot of list. You have a
Well,
long list of cars.
Well, I'm not. So those ones I'm not worried about. The one I want in my collection is the red Pantera. That's the one I want in my collection. The other ones, as the new ones come out, I'll pick them up. I think there's an Iron Dames.
Yeah, even Yeti
Lamborghini.
Nation says, Joe, you said no more cars. Lighttech says, oh, he's fibbing. Haha, I got you. Jen, that was the Xmas list. Nico. Jen's gonna kick this guy out of the house soon. You take your track and your stock cars. Yeah, by the way, if you show up on my doorstep, no, not entry. The only path to entry now is through Jen now. Bring Jen, otherwise don't come. I don't
I
want
mean, I
to.
might need a pace car, both in 124 and in 132. So I mean, I got all these things. Anyways, so the point is, I'm not buying 132s anymore, except for the ones I'm looking for. And so now I'm getting into 124s. I really like the M1s. I really like the M1s. I got two coming. I got two M1s coming. But
Oh, that was very subtle. And
Yeah.
Jen is on this anyway.
no, I can hear. I think she's messing about, making pancakes or something. Do you know the difference between needs and wants? Yeah, I know. There's yeah. I need to, no. I'm sorry, guys, but like I told myself, I'm never gonna be a collector. I'm not gonna collect nothing. And this hobby has sucked me in, and it's like I enjoy the art of it. I enjoy how these cars look.
The art of what? The art of buying cars? Is that what? There's no art to it. You just walk in, you see a car, and you buy it. That's it.
Yeah, but why?
There's no
Because it's
art to
eye
it.
candy. And look at this
It's eye
thing. This thing was
candy.
the first car I saw on a shelf, and I was like, I bought this before I even bought my track because I said, even if I don't buy a track or even get into this hobby at the time when I was contemplating just learning about stuff, I'm like, I
You're
need
so
cool stuff.
Italian. You're so Italian.
Look how
That's
beautiful this is. Yeah, it touches the heart. I'm first generation Canadian. Let's just get that straight. But yes,
Italian with a German flag on this track.
I love
I don't
Germany,
know,
man.
man.
I
You have
love
some,
Germany.
you have
Oh
some
my goodness, the
issues. You have
food,
some
the soccer,
issues.
the technology, the cars.
Oh, God.
Well, not this car.
Here we go. Here we go.
But my
Here we
biggest
go.
regret, my only regret in this hobby at this point, my only regret in this hobby is that I didn't buy two of these because there was two on the shelf.
Oh, Pudding getting himself in shit. She did hear you. You're in so much trouble. I love these morning live chats. The rest of the day is all about retracing your steps. You set yourself up for failure early in
I
the
set
morning.
myself
Joe.
up for a good beating. My wife likes to beat me.
Poor Pudding. Everyone's like, Pudding, you're done, man.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, brother, I think we've had a long enough chat.
Yep.
It's about an hour and 20 in.
Yeah, no, it's good.
We
An
need
extra
to
half
start
an hour.
wrapping it up.
Appreciate everybody coming in, and it was good. We got to talk about a lot of subjects. We didn't clarify anything, so it's perfect. That's how we roll. I love it.
No, I got some takeaways from today's show. One, Joe said he stopped buying stock cars, but he has a long list of cars that he wants. So that's going to be interesting.
I'm a collector at this point, guys. I'm a collector. Do you see
What?
my Star Wars collection there? That's just the Empire. Next to it, which you don't see, is just the Rebels. Okay, I collect. I'm
You
obsessive.
collect. Yeah. I'm a collector too.
I'm not a fancy collector. And Nico
I'm
made
not
good
a big
point.
collector either. I'm just a
No, you're not a
normal
collector.
collector. No.
And Mad Dad, yeah, thanks, but Nico said it best, right? And it kind of got me off that. So I will stop busting you guys' chops about the Michael Nemes car, because you're right. The money I would spend on that, which I have a fund for, which I'm putting away slowly, the money I would spend on that, because I was trying to get you guys all to buy it together, I could buy so many more stock cars, right? So
Do you know that if you bought that Michael Nemes car, you need a running mate for it? So you'd have to save for 2 cars because Jen won't.
yeah, I know.
either
Now
the-
I know, but that car, I'm not going to drive it. Are you crazy?
What do you
That
mean
car,
then? What's the point of buying that car then?
because it's art. Because it's a piece of art.
Oh.
That's what it is.
You know you can buy a model of this car anyway from Maestro
Okay,
or whatever else.
okay, we'll talk about that and then we'll end it. The difference, okay, between anyone can say, oh, you can just buy a perfectly model car, but that model car has no function. What am I going to do? Like an actual
So
4-year-old?
you just said you're not gonna drive Michael Nemes's car, and then you said no, I need function. Like make up your goddamn
No,
mind, Joe.
that is the value.
This is
okay?
where we need Pete
If
because
this
the bell's
car,
coming out now.
No, aspetta,
Like-
aspetta un minuto. You aspetta. Attends une minute, s'il te plaît. This car, if it was a model, I would not buy it. I have my Ferrari 124 Hot Wheels and Revell models that I would collect as a kid. My brother's got a nice, beautiful case. Not as nice as Massimo's, but still the same thing. All Italians, we all have kits, and I used to make Ferraris when I was a kid.
just
right?
get on with the program.
I have to explain.
No,
If this car, regardless, that day when I saw it, was in a model or was in a slot car, I would still buy the slot car, even if I wasn't into slot cars, because this car has a purpose. It is functional. You can use it and enjoy it moving around as a model. Whereas a regular model car,
wait. I'm gonna stop you. I gotta stop you right there.
Don't go.
I gotta stop you right there. Even
stop
the
you.
model car is functional. It rolls. It moves. It's a car.
Okay, I'm no longer
If
4
you're
years
gonna
old. Where
buy
I'm
the
like,
Michael
"Aha,
Nemes car,
I've had my Hot
hold
Wheels cars
on. Let
where
me
you roll-
finish. You
It's
had
not
your
functional.
moment. Now let me have my moment. If you're gonna spend $1,000 US on a car that is functionally built to run on track, that's what Michael Nemes did. He built a fully functioning, really nicely prepped slot car, and you're gonna put it in a box and leave it there, never to run.
No, that's my.
Go and buy the Maestro model kit because you're doing him a huge disservice because Michael Nemes builds cars to run. And if you didn't go back and watch his interview, and I already showed you the interview done by that TV channel on model builders, and go and rewatch that and then tell me why you're buying the Michael Nemes car.
I'm not saying I wouldn't run it. I would run
You
it.
just said that.
I wouldn't run it on a regular basis. I wouldn't be like, "Hey guys, let's come over and
You
run
need to
run
race
my
them.
Michael Nemes."
Those
It wouldn't
those
happen.
two
Because
cars need to
I'm
race
trying
each other.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is that the car has function.
Oida.
The car has function. It's worth more because you can actually use it for something versus a model that sits there and it looks pretty.
Oh,
The Michael Nemes car is a highly tuned car.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
I'm not buying
Let's
the Michael
stop.
Nemes car. I'm
Let's
not buying
stop
the Michael
there.
Nemes car because all of
Pete's
you.
not here to ring no bell, so he's gonna call it. I'm gonna ring the bell myself. Ding, ding, ding.
I
Stop it.
just lost my guy. Look how
Yeah,
mad.
that's what happens. Yeah.
All right, guys. This has been awesome.
Yeah,
This
man.
debate will continue in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully, Pete's here, so the bell can
Pete's
start.
away. It's an anniversary. Happy anniversary to Pete. There's no other reason. I should have mentioned that in the beginning.
Don't forget to watch the other Pete tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Well, later tonight for me, but tomorrow morning for you guys. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Who else is coming up? Dan's got a show Monday. I don't want to overstep, but I think Pete's going to be on that show. He's feeling better. He was just a little under the weather for last Monday. So check out Dan SVR. Tomorrow is Pete show me talking about messing up names. Track Fans.
Welcome to Track Fans TV is on tomorrow. Yeah. And anyway, guys really like it. You guys are great. Thank you so much for being here so early in the morning to listen to Joe whine on. To my shenanigans. I do like that word now. It's become part of my vocabulary. And until 2 weeks from now, keep it in the slots. Have some fun. I'm saying goodbye.
Bye,
Check you
guys.
guys later.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Ciao.